John Bruchalski.
When the Mother of God asked us to do something like this, I'm not quite sure she knew how much fun it could be to raise money for the littlest of her people. It is overwhelming tonight to be here tonight with you all. I look out upon this audience, and I do it as part of a team, the team at Tepeyac OBGYN. From Claire and Gia, our nurses and medical assistants in the office, to Farah, to the doctors. We can't thank you enough for what this has been for us. You have been our anchor of hope, and you constantly point the way to Christ, and we are so grateful for that. I want to thank Monique and the team and all the volunteers that put this event on. Truly, this is something more than medicine here. To have people in the audience like Bob Marshall and Ken Cuccinelli and Shaq Hill, and so many of you folks from the area and those from out of state to be with us tonight. We are so very, very, very grateful. It's interesting to be at a gala where there are young babies in the audience. Names like Leonidas. Come on. They have something to fear because of the Lord. And I just want to say that it's really, after so many years of being on the other side of this debate, looking out into the audience and seeing the palpable touch in the face of Jesus Christ is incredibly quite humbling. And to sit here and to listen to this incredible outpouring of generosity on this practice and on this mission and on this area, truly we are humbled. And so if you saw outside tonight, there were 2 awards that we've been given, and it's because of people like you. This is what real hope's about, even in the darkest of times. There's a Jerome Lejeune Award, a foundation award that we received as a team, because we care for the disabled in utero. But to come up here and after Diana and soon to be Pat Lohman, we are the ones that are blessed because we stand on people's shoulders and we stand amidst giants. People who put their money where their mouth is, people who put their friendship where their heart is. Once again, we are forever grateful. The other award out there was Michelle Malkin's award, her Bulldog Award. Having the business creativity and the religious freedom fight in a collapsing world of medical care, she said, working to put the Planned Parenthood butcher shop out of business. That's what Divine Mercy Care and Tepeyac OBGYN do. They want to break the abortion industrial complex monopoly on women's health care. They said, they talked about us, the docs in this room, our friends, Marie and Dan and Miriam and Kim and Lorna, and all the staff. Their goal is to transform not just crisis pregnancies, but women's health care into comprehensive, compassionate, life-affirming health care for women. That's what you guys are about here tonight, providing a real alternative in a world that's gone quite mad, right? DMC wants women to think of pro-life clinics first for mammograms, menopausal care, excellent surgery, prenatal care, and delivery. Their vision is to guide groups nationwide towards offering services only Planned Parenthood can provide. They want the stranglehold to come to an end, and I agree that that's what you guys are doing tonight, and I am so very grateful. Outstanding health professionals, holding true to their Hippocratic oath, living values that all lives matter, both born and unborn. Those are incredible words that are said to folks that we do this on a daily basis. We try our best to live up to and partner with and work in a place where medicine is an act of mercy. It's also a business. And that you hate the disease, but you love the patient. And through collaboration, you can actually build a culture of life right here outside of the heart of darkness. And so tonight we talk about an anchor of hope. You know, we're definitely in the midst of a tempest. One of the reasons why, Carolyn and I got together so many years ago, 27 years ago, got married, we both love fishing. And this idea of anchors and fishermen, and this other idea that you're in the middle of a tempest, folks, we know it, right? How hard it is to get health care insurance. We live in a world where we are praising Bob Marshall and the docs in this office for not ending the lives of babies in the wombs of their moms and providing real alternatives. That's how crazy this has been. And yet we're trying to partner with groups in the area, in the region, nationally, and even internationally to change the dynamic, to change people's hearts, one heart at a time. You know, healthcare is driving quickly, tumbling down to a single payer. A friend of mine up at, St. John's in Leesburg talked about two options, Kaiser or Cigna. Premiums going through the roof. And yet tonight we're not here really to talk about the negative, but it's the positive. It's the hope. It's the focus on Christ. You know, it's interesting. I think about, remember we recently heard about Iceland, right? Iceland's getting rid of Down syndrome by eliminating the disease from their country through abortion. 99% of their diagnosed preterm babies are ended, their lives are ended through abortion. Well, it's not just Iceland, folks, it's Northern Virginia. In this area, 67 to 75% of all Down syndrome children, their lives are ended in utero. And you can begin to see the healthcare industry saying, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And once again, we can't throw stones, none of us who work at Tepeyac. We are folks that have been on both sides of this. We were Iceland at once until we met people like you, and our hearts were changed. And like I said, we are forever grateful. And so we're in this kind of boat together. We are absolutely in this boat together. We are signs of contradictions. Us as parents, as husbands and wives, people in the industries, also people in government. We somehow believe that faith and reason, social justice, and the gospel of life, the insured and uninsured, since 1994, we fully believe that we can bridge this gap. It's both and, not either or. And it's your generosity that has made this happen, this anchor of hope. Jesus and his promises and his healing and his love are the anchor of hope that we drive towards, that we look to. It never disappoints, even though I sometimes think he's a little late. But that's for another time, and that's more personal. Daddy is the one, he's our anchor, and to support us, and you are part of that anchor as patrons and patients and prayer partners and supporters. His timing is always perfect. And then we, the Tepeyac Center and Divine Mercy Care, or Tepeyac OBGYN and Divine Mercy, we become the anchor of hope for those in the community as patients. People who come from local as well as far. And that's why this first part is about Tepeyac OBGYN. It's something more than medicine. First, it's about gratitude, and I want to thank Bishop Burbage. He came to our center and blessed the center. He reminded us of our privilege and responsibility in serving the sick, remembering the moment we were called to serve the sick and give thanks to God for our gifts. He reminded us to take care of ourselves, to be at our very best. He reminded us to pray daily. Be imitators of Christ, he said, care for the sick and the infirm, protect the sacredness of all human life. I have to thank the Family Life Office and the Gabriel Project, right? Collaborating and strategizing on how to build a net of care for the least of our sisters. And then also Catholic Charities for taking advantage of using the old abortion space for true care in Manassas. We are so grateful for that initiative. And I'm very grateful for you all being here tonight, because you come here as patients, and tonight we are so grateful for you who support us as patients at Tepeyac OBGYN. We know that you have many, many choices to go to as you drive from close and far. So we are so grateful for your support. We're so grateful for you telling your friends and them telling their friends. But last but not least, it's also thankful to the docs that I work with. Dr. Anderson just completed her tenure as chairman of our OBGYN department at Fair Oaks Hospital. Dr. Fisk has recently recovered from significant vision issues and retinal issues that needed more surgery. Your prayers and your support of the center have helped Dan continue to come back and be at full strength. We thank Dr. Lorna, who continually develops our cooperative healthcare approach to helping women through NFP and the surgical techniques of laser surgery for endometriosis, for instance. And Dr. Miriam, who's been coordinating our student intern outreach program and who is dealing with a mother aging and fighting cancer. As well as our midwife, Kim, who is integral in developing a cooperative team approach to delivering babies and providing real great health care for women who happen to be pregnant. Once again, I thank the staff members. We've also gone and added a family practice doctor to Tepeyac OBGYN, Dr. Matt Hayden. We need to pray for him and his wife tonight because they've just suffered a problem and a crisis in their pregnancy. But once again, this man has stepped out in faith. He's done away with insurances. He's trying to provide care on a cash basis to folks. He's been locally in the tri-state area, and he's now using our center as a place of, more of a solid place. Rather than making house calls, he's actually having an office. We're kind of a light and a beacon for folks who are looking for another way to practice medicine other than what seems to be coming down the pike. So please lift up Matt and Catherine tonight in your prayers for their full recovery. So it's not just about gratitude tonight, folks, but it's also about growth. We are so grateful for the new office. 14 more exam rooms, a counseling area, a wonderful open space that we're using for educational events. Father Scalia was there. We've also, in that same series, we just finished a talk with Madame Lejeune, the wife of the geneticist, Dr. Jerome Lejeune. And lastly, it's about grace. So it's gratitude, growth, and grace. And grace was that this vocation is not just a job for us. And once again, coming here tonight and seeing your faces and hearing the stories, we are so very grateful because it provides us a practical means of hope. So that's Tepeyac OBGYN. Now we're talking about Divine Mercy Care. And for you who are new to us, it's a nonprofit that advances pro-life medicine through education and support. Our vision is to transform hearts through health care, one at a time. Our mission is serving those in need with excellent medicine, whether a member of the haves or the have-nots. Inspiring caregivers to thrive by giving and trusting more in the divine physician, as well as unifying the pro-life movement, which is part of what we're going to be giving tonight in the DMC Award. First, it's about serving. That's what you've been doing tonight, raising this money so we can care for folks at our center. So once again, it's not just patients. We're looking, please, thank you for coming. Please send your friends. And thank you for your generosity. It's both and. This Kristen Anderson Perinatal Hospice Program, this infant and the infant loss support, what's happened is that once again, this was the second time that Dr. Anderson can talk about someone who's alive and who's worked through this. Incredible gift of faith. So it's part of serving. We also want to inspire this pro-life education and outreach. Pregnancy centers are hungry to expand services and medicalize. And so Will talked about some of the people across the country, Clint Leonard in Phoenix for one, and some folks in Denver, looking for real leadership on this issue. How do you build a great OBGYN practice that sees the insured and the uninsured? And how do you stay in business in a world that's going to a single payer? And then we've been partnering with And Then There Were None, which is a group of ex-abortion clinic workers who are looking to provide real alternatives for folks in the industry who want to get out because their conscience, like mine, was finally picked in such a way that they can't do this anymore. This was a letter that we received recently from Italy. I'm an Italian medical doctor, an abortionist. Fortunately, last night I watched a movie about the center that included the office and the work. Immediately, I felt the need to write to you all because in my profession, I've always looked at how to earn money, and so I've arrived today with no more love of my profession. I've lost the desire to do this job. I graduated in OBGYN, the department here in Italy, with a thesis on hypertension in pregnancy. But I left this road doing something different, providing abortion services. Something that was possible for me to earn more money. I'd like to say thank you now because of your story and the story of the center. I realize that that's not right. I don't know what I'm going to do in the future, but you sent me hope. Grazie. Once again, these are stories that just kind of keep walking into the practice. Not just on the service end of patients coming for something different. Once again, we had a patient recently where talk about communication and sharing. This woman had been seen in 2 prior emergency rooms locally. She's a Hispanic lady, wasn't really spoken with very well, never took a real good history from her, tried to lance what they thought was an abscess. She was extremely sick, couldn't walk, was extremely fearful of the medical profession. And because of our docs talking to one another, getting her the services she needed, she comes back a week and a half later feeling much, much better because we listened and tried. She said, you saw me as a person. The high-risk pregnancies. It's humbling because it's a gift from God that has been given to us. And because of your generosity, we share it with our community. And lastly, it's about the unifying principle of what we do. Service, inspire, and then unify. And part of that is working with Aslan's army of the church education and outreach, where true ecumenism can be dealt with. Where we go beyond saving babies from abortion, but call all of us to a deeper relationship with Christ by giving a little bit more. We're so grateful. And so in conclusion, it's about this anchor of hope. It really takes humility to say we're an anchor in this world, trying to transform hearts. This humility frees us to be our true selves as He sees us. It frees us to love and serve selflessly for the good of others. Not always perfectly, but trying to be better. We are all double agents, so to speak, all of us in this room, with one foot in the city of God and one foot in the city of man. He always writes straight through crooked lines, and that's part of the reason why you're supporting Tepeyac OBGYN and Divine Mercy Cure. Romans 28 is real and alive. He even uses his enemies to further his plan. He even uses our direct opposition to advance his plan. Right? The story about Stephen being stoned, God uses this tragedy to spread his word throughout Judea and the ends of the earth. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a real tough situation here. And yet, the hope of Jesus Christ never disappoints. Ever. It's the end time. It's the end prize. It's what you pastors and priests in the audience call us to at services and at Mass. He turns failure into triumph. We place our trust in the Father's love, power, and ability. He is supreme and sovereign. We shouldn't be perturbed by the circumstances, no matter how horrible. Remain calm and trust. Tepeyac OBGYN and Divine Mercy Care are trying to be tangible, practical, local, medical services, touch of hope here in our community. So in conclusion, mercy is a verb. Hope is a response. It's a decision. God leads, God acts, and we respond. Once again, tonight, folks, when you were talking and caring and hugging and kind of getting caught up with us, we are so very grateful. Because this is what real hope is in a world that's gone mad. All of your generosity, financially, spiritually, and practically, help this happen. Because of my sons, who both attended VMI here in Virginia, we talk about the cadet maxim a lot. Risk more than others think is safe. Care more than others think is wise. Dream more than others think is practical. And expect more than others think is possible. Today, God keeps on loving our world, our families, our lives. He keeps sending you and me out to prove that He loves the world and that He still has that compassion for the world. It is us who have to be His love, His hands, His instruments, His compassion in the world today. But to be able to love, we must have faith, for faith in action is love, and love in action is service and beauty. Light in the darkness, love in the chaos, hope in the times we live. Folks, what you're supporting tonight and what you've been doing for so long, and that we are just, it takes my breath away, is that this is not social work, this is not simply medicine, it's not innovative medicine only. It's definitely not another business principle or model. This is not simply just another job. What you are doing here tonight is heroic charity and commitment to excellent medicine during this plague that is descending upon us. This idea that death is a good thing and that we should be a part of it in the medical world. It's what has kept Dr. Anderson here. For 2 decades, we've been partners and friends and another husband and wife, and 20 years. Truly, I am so grateful. And attracted Danny and Marie and Lorna and now Kim. So it's heroic. It's a commitment to excellence. Pro-life healthcare is more than OBGYN, much more. Much more. Thank you tonight for being here with us and helping us do something more than medicine. God bless you.
Thank you, Doctor. Never a dull moment, never an uninspired word that I received from you. I really appreciate it.